Yes, lads, what is going on? Welcome to episode 26 of the Sorare Road to Glory, where we're trying to take the Challenger boys from Division 5 all the way up to Division 1. But that sentence won't be true in a couple of weeks, maybe even less, because the game is changing. There's going to only be 3 divisions. In Rare and Limited is where we focus this Road to Glory on. So yeah, things are going to change a little bit. I'm sure we'll start off in Division 3, knowing us. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that change comes in the next few game weeks. Pretty sure when the MLS starts, so game week, I think it's 56. This weekend's game week 52. So yeah, excited to see how that kind of transpires, and how it works out for us. If you do enjoy today's video, please do leave it a like. And if you are new around here, please do subscribe, lads. And if you're completely new to Sorare, there is a link that will help you out with a few market credit discounts once you purchase your first 5 cards in the description. Now, as always, we'll look back on last weekend, which was game week 50. And I'll be honest, this has to go down as the worst game week we've had so far, I would say, by a mile. I don't think we had one decisive between the whole 15 cards that we played. It was a dire week. Really, really bad. Brahimi DMP out of nowhere. It looks like he was... I don't even know, actually. Apparently, he's training again, but individually. So I think it was some sort of slight knock. But he was completely out. There was no news of that before the deadline. Literally, not a score. No decisive and no AA above 25 anywhere. Which is... I said it a few episodes ago. Like, if this happens, like, to your gallery, it's worrying. Like, it is worrying because you're like... I couldn't even make a 5 if I tried here, So... yeah, not a great start. The Dender boys got battered 5-0. AZ did win, but big Coop Miners didn't really do too much. Brekalo scored 5 goals, casting passer, and he didn't get involved in neither of them. In any of them, sorry. So yeah, 60 minutes played though, so maybe he wasn't involved. Wasn't on the pitch for every one of them. Some nice AA from Dekaiser, sorry. Dekaiser is injured. We are going through a bit of an injury crisis right now, actually, in the series or on the series. So that's become quite frustrating. On a positive note, Mohamed Cham came off the bench this past weekend. I didn't really think he would start, and he didn't. Came off the bench at halftime. Got a bit of AA, but no goals for Trabzonspor. And yeah, the 20 boys conceded 2 against Go Ahead, which I could kind of see happening, to be fair. I was just hoping there'd be a bit more AA, to go around. But it wasn't the case. It was a really bad week. Poor week. It's one of them where I just want to kind of forget about it, to be honest. And move on to bigger and better matchups. Like I said, I think every one of our players, maybe bar one, were away from home. And that's a recipe for disaster, lads, on this game. If all your cards are away from home, the chances are they're not going to do too well. Bit of a blanket statement. It's not always true. It was true this weekend. So we can get rid of that. And we can move over to the Google Sheets. Now, I did update the floor prices of all our cards. And what I did notice was... the most of them, if not all of them, are down in price from last week. So yeah, since last Thursday. So we're still up on a few of them, but like the Kaiser, was at like 5-6 quid last week. He's down to nearly £4. The Kai's Micah, who I paid £2 for, he's injured, so he's down, which makes sense. Like if a player's injured, he's probably going to be a bit cheaper to buy right now. Right? I get that. There was a few cards like, well, yeah, Brahimi. Okay, you could argue maybe because he DMP'd this weekend, but he's got basically halved in price. Unistal's down slightly, about a quid. Verips, the keeper for Dender, he's down quite a bit. I need to change that to red, actually, because he's down to £3.55. And like I said, the rest of the boys are kind of all down as well. A few of them were like a couple pence up, but it wasn't much in it. Our gallery value is sitting at £47, or just under £48. So the lowest it's been since we've moved over to the Challenger region, I guess, from under 23s. And then the total balance is 15 quid. We haven't bought anyone since Coop Miners. Before recording this video, I was having a look at like, is there really anyone that I'd really want to bring in for this weekend? We do have a nice cash balance, and it is nice to have because you can utilize it if you want. And I did mention there is a few injuries that are kind of plaguing the gallery right now, which normally calls for reinforcements. But yeah, after kind of sussing it out a little bit, I don't think we're really in that much of a need to bring in anyone. I mean, I was just looking at I always kind of just go over to Sorare data. Go to game week, go to games, and then I toggle to game week 52, which is this weekend. I just have a look at the pick score sometimes and just see what the challenger players are saying by position. I'll probably do just defender, midfielder, and forward all together. And I just kind of scroll through, just to kind of suss out who has good matchups this weekend, what are their prices right now and stuff. And chances are, if they have a good pick score, it means they have a good matchup, of course, which means their price is going to be normally quite high. But sometimes there's the odd card in there where you go, okay, feels a bit cheap considering he has a good matchup this weekend. could that fit into my best lineup, for example? And then you kind of have to make that calculation. The floor price here, though, doesn't take into account what the floor price of the in-season card is. So, for example, Joey Veerman, it says 15 quid, right? I go and click Joey Veerman, and you won't be able to see it because it's under my face cam. But as you can see, the floor price for the in-season card is nearly £27, but the floor price for the Classic is 15. So, yeah, Sorare data only show the floor price of the Classic, which is a little bit annoying, I guess, because if you are looking for in-season, that Classic floor price doesn't really do too much for you. There was nobody that really jumped out at me when I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Like, Al Karani, maybe. What is he? £4 for the in-season. The Classic's £1.55. But basically, what I'm trying to get at is, going off the spreadsheet and stuff. Like, I do think prices are just down right now because, in general, like, I don't play Contender and stuff, so I don't really, like, track anything there. Obviously, I track the Road to Glory, and I feel like everyone's just got massive FOMO for the MLS, including me. Like, people are just selling, it feels like everything to get a bit of a cash balance to go into the MLS, which, starts in a couple of weeks. And we see that year on year. Like, that's nothing new. People selling cards that don't have as much utility to then buy cards with a full season of utility. Like, we've seen that cycle play out over and over again over the years. So, it's nothing new, but I think that is probably why I think a lot of these cards, or my cards specifically, a few injuries in there as well, but for the most part, I think cards are genuinely a bit down. And yeah, you just got to just kind of know that and just be okay with it, I guess. Obviously, you can sell into them if you want and do the whole MLS thing for sure, but I do think that is one of the biggest reasons why I'm seeing a lot of the cards that I've got in my gallery, outside of a few injuries, because that's a fair enough reason why a card would go down. But for like a goalie to like half in price, I know they just got battered 5-0, but Verips I'm on about. I don't know, I just think there is definitely a bit of MLS FOMO kicking in. But anyway, that's probably enough of me chit-chatting about why prices are down a little bit. Let's get into some lineup building then. 3 goalkeepers, 2 at home, which is great, but our best keeper on paper with the best odds are away from home. FC20 are away from home to Hermveen. Dender at home to St. Trudens, I think it is, or Truiden. Quite an evenly matched game there by the bookies, which is fair enough. And then the Kaiser is at home to the Go Ahead Eagles, who are a good team right now. So, you could probably bank on Fabian de Kaiser getting a bit of a all-around score, hoping that he doesn't concede 3. Verips, you just don't know what Dender you're going to get half the time. Like, if Brahimi doesn't play, obviously their firepower, like the Dender have to play against, is a little bit sort of lessened. So, I'm not that worried about playing the Dender boys, but I still think this FC20 fixture, albeit away from home, is probably the fixture I want to go with, because I do think Van Rouge is probably our best defender, and you know what I'm like, I like pairing my defenders with goalkeepers, so I think 20 defensive stack makes a lot of sense. And then we get into the midfielders. Vlap's on for a good game apparently. Pick scores triple A, which is great. Hasn't really hit a decisive in the last 3, but his all-around score has been there, so if he can add a decisive into that, that'd be great. Coop Miners at home to Pex Wall is probably our best matchup on paper. Cham is... we don't really know what's going to happen with Cham. I think he'll probably play. We don't have predictions over on Predictify yet. He came off the bench, last game, 45 minutes. He had a bit of an injury the game before that. As you can see, he was sub, and he got taken out that game. So I don't think he won't play, but the team they're playing against are no mugs at all. They're a decent team. They're churning results. Drew with Fenerbahce, won the last 4. I don't think that one's a gimme at all. So I think Vlap probably just suits the build more there. Now, like I said, Brahimi does look to be out again, which is going to be frustrating for us. So they have him at 20% here. Brahimi was only in individual training yesterday. That was Tuesday. And therefore is a doubt for the upcoming game. So he might play, but we just don't know. So obviously I can't really take that risk on him. And then we can play one classic. So, these are all in season, but Dan Ross is classic. That would fit nicely with the 20 theme we have going on there. So I think he maybe gets the nod there for us. And then there's who gets the extra position. It can't be an in-season... it can't be a classic card. So we definitely have a decision to make there. We could risk Cham. Risk by... does he start? And the matchup isn't amazing, even though the odds are showing it is. The other team are 4th in the league. Like I said, they're definitely no mug. So I'm honestly not too confident in that. The Kai's Mike is out, I think, still. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure he is. Oh no, okay, so maybe he's back. 60% on. Back from injury, should start, but also could start on the bench, right? So he's not fully nailed, which is not a great place to be for us. That makes it a bit, like, tricky, because if I do play Rots, I can't really play one of my classic mids. Like, what I'm saying is, if I do Rots here, I could go one of the other forwards, but then that will screw me eventually, because I need to build 2 more lineups, and if I play 2 forwards here, it doesn't make sense. So I might have to, for the sake of the build, go Banzer in here, and then that would allow me to play Coop Miners, who is in a good position at home to Peck's wall. I'd like to think he'd do pretty well there. Yeah, we're only looking for a couple of decisives from Banzer. We're not asking too much, are we? So I could play Cham in here with Banzer, but I think I prefer the Coop Miners fixture slightly to Cham's. So I think that maybe solves our Dan Rots conundrum there. Now I think the Dender boys probably get played in our second lineup. We'll keep Ferrell with it, so we'll keep the Dender boys together, and then we can go Rots as the classic. I think that works out pretty nice. We need a DA, good game from Rots. We need the clean sheet from Dender for that to, for this lineup to work, and then Ferraro to kind of do the business there. So the second lineup, yeah, took care of itself quite nicely there. We're told Takai's Micah could play. Should, I don't know about should, but definitely could. Brekalo's got to be our forward if we think Brahimi's out. And then we need one more in-season card plus, and then we could use a classic, I guess. Who is left? So Louis Patrice actually scored the best of any of my players last week, and of course I didn't play him. He was away to USG, tough game, but of course, his little run recently is pretty nice. So he might be used as the extra player then. So then that means we could use a classic card here if we wanted to. I think we should just risk Cham. Like, this is our third lineup. Like, I'm not expecting it to do a ton. And I'll give him the armband as well, just in case he does pop off. I'll probably regret not playing him in where Coop Miners is for now, but I don't think I want to really take that risk, honestly. And yeah, like, going back to what I was saying, yeah, we have a little bit of a cash balance, and yeah, we have a few dicey players, but at least our first and arguably our second lineup are pretty nailed on. Like, I'm pretty happy with, they're all probably going to start. Yeah, I can't sort of see the future and say that they're all going to smash. Obviously the hope. But yeah, there was just nobody on that pick score that I was really fancying, to be honest. That would really make a difference for like a low enough price. This week more than last week for sure. I'd be disappointed if we didn't get 2 promotions here. I'm not saying we're going to walk towards cash, but I'd be very disappointed if we don't get at least the first team, the 20 boys with Banzer and Coop Miners, and then the Dender boys. I'd be a little bit disappointed if we don't get two out of those 3 lineups promoted into Division 3. If we can get a bit of cash and a bit of essence on the way, that would be great, because we are only 3 essence away from crafting a tier 5+, so we're super close to doing that. I'd like to think we're going to get that this weekend. I think that is probably where we're going to conclude this. Before I do, though, I do have a few cards to give away, lads. I've been gifted a few MLS cards to give away to you guys in the comment section. Just leave a like on the video, of course. Just comment below, let me know your Sorare gallery name, and yeah, I'll send a couple of these cards over in the comment section to you guys, just for engaging. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think, lads, that is going to be the extent of the video. I'm going to export the lineups, because why wouldn't I use the best feature on Sorare Data? If you are in the market of getting a Sorare Data Star membership, please use code Harry, because that does really help me out, and it gets you a 10% discount as well. You can't get a discount elsewhere, I don't think. So yeah, a little exclusive there for you. Should have all the boys in, and we do. 2,287 entries so far in Division 4. The dreaded question is, though, do we have any Friday night action? And we don't. Get in there. No Friday night action. A bit of Monday with Trabs on Sport. The rest are Sunday and Saturday, so I can hopefully enjoy my weekend. And yeah, hopefully we get a couple of promotions, like I said, a bit of essence, and if we can get a bit of cash, like, where do we need to finish? Top 80 for cash. Not easy to do, when there's over 2,200 users in there. Not easy to do at all. But if there's going to be a week, this might be it. With the 20 boys, I know they're away, but I still fancy them to do pretty well in this lineup here. Banzer gets a DA, and Coop Miners does his thing. I don't see why we can't get top 80 there, honestly. Hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please do leave it a like. I wish you all the best for this upcoming weekend. I shall see you guys in the next episode.